Welcome to my channel Valuable Rare Coins because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we're diving deep into a modern rarity with serious collector appeal, the 2005 D United States 5-cent piece, also known as the 2005 D Jefferson or Bison nickel. And why a very special era version of this coin could be worth $34,000. Most people, a 2005 D nickel is nothing more than ordinary pocket change. But for collectors who know what to look for, some of these nickels are absolutely electrifying. The story starts in 2005, during the Mint's Westward Journey series. This was a period when the U.S. Mint introduced new reverse designs, and for nickels, that included a striking depiction of a bison, a powerful symbol of the American frontier. Because these nickels were struck at the Denver Mint, they carry the D Mint mark. Millions were produced, so you might think they're everywhere, but in reality, a very small subset of them bears dramatic minting errors that make them rare and highly desirable. Among the most spectacular of these is the so-called speared bison. In this error variant, a die developed a crack or gouge that resulted in a raised line across the bison's back, almost like a spear has pierced through it. That raised ridge is not part of the design, it's a mistake. But what a mistake! It's visually dramatic, unmistakable, and when found in a coin that's uncirculated or certified, it brings serious attention from collectors. Even more fascinating are the double die versions of this 2005 D nickel. In some coins, you'll see doubling on Jefferson's portrait, on the date, or on the legends. That doubling comes from the die being misaligned or struck more than once, so parts of the design are faintly repeated, giving that ghost image effect. When the doubling is strong, sharp, and clearly visible under magnification, those coins jump right off the slab. There are also errors linked to die adjustment. Sometimes during production, dies were aligned imperfectly. One side of the coin may be fully struck, while the other looks weak or flat. Then there are struck-through grease errors, where debris, maybe grease or even small fibers, got between the die and planchet at striking time. That debris disrupts how the metal flows, leaving odd voids or soft spots, giving the coin a blemished but intriguing look. Even more subtle, but extremely collectible, are die cracks, tiny fissures in the die that, when transferred onto the coin, show up as raised lines or lines of weakness across the surface. Some 2005 D nickels exhibit these cracks in really interesting patterns, and in uncirculated condition, those kinds of errors can be genuine showpieces. And don't discount strange toning. If a coin has unusual red, orange, brown, or gray hues, it might be due to an improperly annealed planchet. That's when the metal blink wasn't heated or cooled correctly during production, producing weird but stunning coloration. So how do you spot these errors? First, you'll want a good magnifier, ideally a 5 times or 10 times loupe. Hold the nickel at various angles. Look for raised ridges, odd lines, or doubled features. Inspect Jefferson's profile, the date, and the lettering for any sign of ghosting or shadowing. For grease-through errors, look for soft depressions or spots that look off. For toning, compare suspicious nickels to normal ones in good light. Weird colors usually stand out. Collectors don't just guess either. High-grade error nickels like these have shown up in serious auctions, certified by major grading services. Within the collecting community, there's real excitement around these specific varieties. The speared bison, double dies, and other dramatic mistakes are prized, especially when the coins are in mint state. Despite the enormous mintage, only a tiny fraction show these errors, and fewer still survive in perfect, uncirculated condition. That scarcity, combined with high demand among error enthusiasts, makes them incredibly valuable. If you happen to pick through your change and come across any 2005 D nickels, give them a close look. Grab a loupe, examine them carefully. If anything seems wrong or unusually raised, doubled, or colored, don't dismiss it. You might be holding something extraordinary, and here's the astonishing part. In a rare and extraordinary case, an error 2005 D nickel that's been authenticated, graded, and confirmed to have one of these spectacular mistakes. collectors have placed a value of $34,000 on it. That's right, a 5-cent piece, transformed by a minting error, could command $34,000. Second rare coin. We are diving into a coin that many people overlook, but collectors with a sharp eye know exactly how powerful it can be: the United States of America 5 cents from 1973. This nickel may seem like everyday loose change, but hidden among the ordinary pieces are rare treasures packed with errors, surprises, and incredible value for anyone lucky enough to find one. The 1973 Jefferson nickel came out during a time when the mint was pushing for cleaner strikes and better quality coins, but even with modern machinery, mistakes still happened. And those mistakes are exactly what turn an ordinary 5-cent piece into a collector's obsession. The design featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and the iconic Monticello on the back stayed the same, but what makes this year special is how many unusual and dramatic errors slipped through, creating a frenzy among numismatists who love the unexpected. One of the most sought-after types of errors you can find in a 1973 nickel is a strong double die. When the die used to strike the coin shifts even slightly during the minting process, it creates a doubled effect on Jefferson's eye, the date, or the lettering. A clear double die is always in high demand, and on a 1973 nickel, it becomes a conversation piece in any collection. Doubling on the word Liberty or on the date is especially prized, and collectors always scan their nickels under magnification, hoping to spot that magical doubling that sends the value soaring. Another incredible rarity is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet is not properly aligned under the die and the coin is struck noticeably off balance. A slight off-center error is interesting, but a dramatic one, where parts of the design are missing yet the date is still visible, is what collectors truly crave. These instantly stand out even without a magnifying glass, and the more dramatic the misalignment, the more collectors chase after it with excitement. Then there are clipped planchet errors, where the coin appears to have a bite taken out of it because the metal sheet was improperly cut before striking. These errors look wild and attract attention the moment you see them. On a 1973 nickel, a clean, well-defined clip can turn an ordinary coin into a showpiece. Collectors love these because they are easy to identify and incredibly fun to display. Struck-through errors also make some 1973 nickels extremely valuable. When grease, fabric, or even small particles get between the die and the planchet, they leave behind unusual impressions or missing details. Monticello may appear faint, some letters may look ghosted, or Jefferson's features may seem blurred in certain areas. These rare anomalies give each coin a unique personality, making them irresistible to error collectors who want a one-of-a-kind treasure. Collectors who search rolls or old jars of change always hope to find one of these standout varieties, and many have surfaced in recent auctions at surprisingly strong prices. Auction houses have reported pristine examples of dramatic off-centers, bold double dies, and stunning struck-through errors, bringing fierce bidding wars, especially when the coins are certified by major grading companies. The demand for earlier minted error nickels has grown intensely over the last decade, and the 1973 series is right in the spotlight. If you're interested in examining your own 1973 nickel, use a bright light. Tilt the coin at different angles and inspect the date, lettering, and Monticello for anything that looks out of the ordinary. Even minor abnormalities can hint at something special, and every collector knows that the thrill of discovery starts with simply paying attention. Your change might be holding a small miracle just waiting to be found, and now for the moment everyone loves, the top-tier price. Among the rarest finds, a spectacular, high-grade 1973 nickel with a dramatic and undeniable mint error has reached an astonishing value of $34,000. Third expensive coin, we are exploring a hidden gem from the world of American currency, the United States of America 5 cents from 1979. This classic Jefferson nickel may look like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but certain rare errors and high-grade examples have pushed this coin into the spotlight, capturing the attention of collectors everywhere and creating extraordinary value for those lucky enough to find the right one. The 1979 nickel was minted during a time of high production, but even with millions of coins struck, some remarkable and unexpected minting mistakes slipped through. These rare errors are exactly what transform a simple 5-cent coin into a collector's dream. The traditional design featuring Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the back remained unchanged, but what hides beneath the surface is what makes this year so thrilling for coin hunters and numismatists. One of the most famous kinds of errors you may discover in a 1979 nickel is a strong double die. This happens when the die used to create the coin shifts slightly during the hubbing process, leaving doubled lettering, doubled numbers, or even doubled features in Jefferson's portrait. When this doubling is sharp and visible without straining your eyes, the value jumps dramatically. Collectors are constantly scanning the date, the motto, and Jefferson's facial details, hoping to catch that perfect double die that sets their coin apart from the rest. Another breathtaking rarity is the off-center strike error. These coins immediately catch your attention because the design is printed noticeably off to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more desirable it becomes, especially if the date is still clearly visible. Off-center errors from 1979 have caused bidding wars in collector circles because they offer bold, eye-catching mistakes that stand out instantly. Clipped planchet errors are another valuable treasure from the 1979 nickel series. When the metal sheet used to create the coin blanks is improperly cut, the resulting coin appears to have a curved or crescent-shaped piece missing. These clips give the coin a unique and visually striking look, and when found on a well-preserved 1979 nickel, they become true collectibles that enthusiasts are eager to display and talk about. Struck-through errors also make this coin incredibly exciting. During the minting process, small bits of grease, fabric threads, or tiny pieces of debris sometimes get trapped between the die and the blank. When this happens, the coin may have missing details, faded lettering, or unusual textures on the surface. These errors are highly prized because each one is literally a one-of-a-kind creation, making the 1979 series especially attractive to collectors who love unique mint mistakes. Die cracks add even more variation to this coin story. Overused or slightly damaged dies can leave raised lines or tiny fissures across the coin's surface. On a 1979 nickel, these cracks can appear on Jefferson's portrait, along the rim, or near Monticello. The more dramatic the crack, the higher the interest, and some of these have shown up in auctions with impressive results, especially in high mint state grades. Collectors always search for high-grade pieces as well, because a flawless or nearly flawless 1979 nickel can command surprisingly strong prices. Coins that have never been circulated, that still shine with their original luster, and that show strong, crisp detail are in incredibly high demand. Auction records have shown that top-quality examples with striking errors often sell for far more than anyone expects, proving once again that this humble nickel carries big surprises. If you want to check your own 1979 nickel for potential value, take your time and use a bright light or magnifying glass. Look closely at the date, the lettering, and the portrait for signs of doubling. Examine the edges to spot any clipped planchets, and check the alignment to see if the strike is off-center. Pay attention to unusual lines, faded areas, or missing details. Any of these could be a sign that you're holding something truly rare. The thrill of discovering an error coin is one of the best feelings a collector can experience. Now for the moment everyone waits for, the top possible value. In the most exceptional cases, with dramatic, unmistakable errors and stunning high-grade condition, a 1979 United States 5-cent coin has reached a value of $45,000. Especially, we are shining a spotlight on a coin that many people overlook, but serious collectors know has unbelievable potential, the United States of America 5 cents from 1971. This Denver-minted Jefferson nickel may seem like everyday change, but certain rare errors and high-grade survivors from this year have taken the collecting world by storm, turning an ordinary 5-cent piece into a high-value treasure that every enthusiast dreams of finding. The 1971 nickel was minted during a busy production year, and with millions of coins struck, the Denver mint machines were working non-stop. And whenever minting speed increases, unexpected and dramatic errors become more likely. These mistakes are exactly what collectors crave, because they turn common coins into rare, valuable prizes that only a lucky few ever get to discover. The classic Jefferson portrait on the front and the proud Monticello building on the back remain the same, but the hidden errors that slipped through in 1971 are what make this coin truly thrilling. One of the most exciting types of errors you can spot in a 1971 D nickel is a powerful double die. Doubling can appear on the date, the word Liberty, or even in Jefferson's facial details. When that doubling is bold, clear, and unmistakable, it transforms the coin into a standout rarity. Collectors are always searching their rolls with magnifying glasses, hoping to catch that special doubling, because when you find a strong one from 1971 D, you're holding something incredibly desirable. Another jaw-dropping error is a dramatic off-center strike. When a coin is misaligned during striking, parts of the design shift toward the edge, leaving a blank curve of metal on the opposite side. And the more dramatic the off-center, the more collectors go after it. A 1971 D nickel with a major off-center strike and a fully visible date can command impressive prices, and examples like these have recently sparked fierce auction competition among dedicated numismatists. Clipped planchet errors also make the 1971 D nickel extremely valuable. These coins have a curved portion missing from the edge because of a cutting mistake during planchet production. These dramatic clips give the coin a unique look that captures immediate attention. When one of these appears on a bright, uncirculated 1971 D nickel, its desirability skyrockets and collectors waste no time trying to add it to their display cases. Struck-through errors add even more mystery to this coin. When bits of grease, metal shavings, or cloth fibers get trapped between the die and the planchet, the final result can include blurred details, missing designs, or unusual textures across the surface. These errors are one of a kind, which is exactly why collectors love them. Each struck-through 1971 D nickel has its own personality, making it a unique piece of minting history. There are also die cracks and die breaks that appear on 1971 D nickels, especially those struck late in the die's life. These create raised lines or dramatic breaks across Jefferson's portrait or the Monticello building. Some collectors specialize in these dramatic die breaks, often called cuds, which can make a simple nickel look like a museum-worthy piece of mint art. The stronger and more visible the die damage, the higher the demand from collectors who search for character and uniqueness in their coins. High-grade examples of the 1971 D nickel have also drawn serious attention. Coins that remain bright, sharp, and perfectly preserved after more than 50 years are extremely hard to find. Recent auctions have shown that pristine, mint-state 1971 D nickels with stunning luster and sharp details can attract surprising bids, especially when they combine condition with a rare error. Every collector wants that perfect combination of beauty and rarity, and this year is full of surprises. If you have a 1971 D nickel at home, take your time and inspect it under a good light. Look closely at the date, the lettering, and Jefferson's profile for doubling. Slide your finger along the rim to feel for clipped planchets. Examine the strike to see whether the design is perfectly centered. Watch for cracks, odd lines, missing details, or anything that seems off. Your coin might be holding an extraordinary secret that could make it worth far more than its face value. And now for the part every enthusiast waits for. The highest reported value for the rarest and most dramatic combination of grade and mint error on a 1971 D nickel. In the most exceptional cases, this humble 5-cent piece has reached a staggering value of $99,000. Next coin, we're diving into a modern-era gem that continues to surprise collectors, the United States of America 5 cents from 1990 p. At first glance, this nickel might look like ordinary pocket change, but hidden among the millions minted are rare errors and exceptional high-grade pieces that have made this coin a rising star in the collecting world. The 1990 P. Jefferson nickel comes from the Philadelphia Mint and marks a period when the mint was modernizing operations, yet even with advanced machinery, mistakes still found their way into circulation. These unexpected errors are exactly what make this year so exciting for collectors. The classic Jefferson portrait and the timeless Monticello reverse bring a familiar design, but the secret value lies in the errors and variations that slipped through the minting process and now spark major interest across the hobby. One of the most thrilling and valuable errors from the 1990 piece series is the double die. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during production, creating doubled letters, doubled numbers, or doubled facial features. Strong doubling on the date or on the word Liberty is especially desirable, and collectors will pay a premium for a crisp, clear double die from this year. Every time a collector inspects a 1990 nickel, the hope is to spot that magical doubling that instantly transforms an ordinary coin into a standout rarity. Another impressive error collectors dream of discovering is the off-center strike. When the coin blink isn't positioned correctly during striking, the design is printed off balance, leaving part of the surface blank. The more dramatic the off-center shift, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially when the date remains perfectly visible. Off-center 1990 nickels have caught attention in auctions and private sales, proving that modern nickels can pack some serious surprises. The clipped planchet error is also a star in this series. This error happens when the sheet of metal used to punch out coin blanks overlaps or misaligns, creating a curved clip along the edge of the coin. These unusual crescent-shaped clips stand out immediately and make the coin look uniquely sculpted. When found on a bright, uncirculated 1990 nickel, this error becomes a conversation piece collectors eagerly chase. Struck through errors add another layer of excitement. During striking, tiny debris, grease, or fibers can get trapped between the die and the coin. This leads to missing details, ghost-like impressions, and unusual textures on the surface. Because each struck-through error is different, no two coins look exactly the same, making them one-of-a-kind discoveries that appeal to collectors who love holding something completely unique. Collectors also keep an eye out for die cracks and die breaks. When minting dies begin to wear or fracture, those imperfections transfer onto the coins, creating raised lines or dramatic breaks across Jefferson's portrait or Monticello. Some of these cracks appear like lightning streaks across the coin, and the bolder they are, the more collectors compete to own them. High-grade examples with dramatic die cracks have shown impressive performance in recent sales, proving once again that even small imperfections can lead to major value. High-grade 1990 nickels are also in strong demand. Despite being a relatively recent coin, most circulated heavily and picked up scratches, wear, and dullness. That's why mint-state examples with sharp details, full steps on Monticello, and strong luster are incredibly coveted. Auction results have shown that when a 1990 nickel combines pristine condition with an exciting mint error, bidders don't hesitate to push prices far beyond expectations. If you have a 1990 nickel at home, grab a bright light and a magnifier to inspect it carefully. Look at the date, the lettering, and Jefferson's face for doubling. Check the rim for possible clips. Examine the alignment of the design to see if it's off-center. Watch for cracks, missing details, or anything unusual. Any of these features could mean your coin is far more valuable than you ever imagined. And now for the part every collector waits for, the highest known value for a rare, exceptional, and perfectly preserved error example of the 1990 nickel has reached an astounding $40,000. Last unique coin, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most talked about nickels in American collecting history, the United States of America 5 cents 1964 D. This coin may seem common at first glance, but certain rare errors, high-grade survivors, and unique minting characteristics have pushed the demand for this coin higher and higher, making it one of the most exciting nickels to search for in your change, in old jars, and in bank rolls. The 1964 nickel comes from a year of massive production. The Denver Mint was striking coins at an incredible pace, trying to meet the overwhelming demand for circulating currency during the early 1960s. And when speed increases, the chance for minting errors skyrockets, creating opportunities for extraordinary finds. That's exactly why collectors today pay close attention to this year, because hidden among the millions minted are coins with errors so dramatic that they completely transform their value. One of the most desirable and talked about errors on the 1964 nickel is the double die variety. Doubling can appear on the date, on Jefferson's profile, on the motto, or on the letters around the rim. A bold double die instantly turns a standard nickel into a premium rarity, and collectors absolutely love the hunt for these dramatic doubling patterns. When the doubling is strong enough to be seen without magnification, the excitement rises even more, because that kind of clarity is what drives demand through the roof. Another incredible error you might find in a 1964 D nickel is the off-center strike. When the coin blank isn't seated properly during the minting process, the design shifts, leaving a noticeable blank crescent on one side. The amount of off-centering makes a huge difference in value. A dramatic off-center strike with the date still visible is a treasure, and collectors compete fiercely for these examples when they appear at auction. These off-center 1964 D nickels combine rarity, beauty, and a dramatic look that instantly catches the eye. The clipped planchet error is another show-stopping feature collectors hope to find. A clipped planchet looks like someone took a bite out of the coin's edge, creating a curved or straight clip depending on the way the blank was punched. These minting mistakes make each coin visually striking and unmistakably unique. A bright, uncirculated 1964 D nickel with a clean, well-defined clip is a prized addition to error collections everywhere. Struck-through errors also bring incredible value to this coin. Sometimes grease, debris, metal shavings, or fibers get caught between the die and the blank during striking, leaving behind missing letters, faded areas, or unusual textures. These struck-through errors are always one of a kind, since no two pieces of debris leave the same impression. Collectors love these distinctive mistakes because they capture a moment in minting history frozen in metal. Die cracks and die breaks are especially common in high-production years, and 1964 D offers some of the most dramatic examples. These errors appear as raised lines, lightning-shaped fractures, or even full cuts where part of the die has broken off completely. A bold die crack stretching across Jefferson's face or the Monticello building gives the coin character and rarity that collectors chase with passion. The more dramatic the break, the more attention the coin attracts in auctions and private sales. High-grade 1964 D nickels are also attracting serious collector interest. Even though many were produced, very few survived in perfect condition. Decades of circulation wore most of them down, making sharp, brilliant mint-state examples a challenge to find. Coins with strong details, full steps on Monticello, and beautiful original luster have performed exceptionally well in recent sales. When a high-grade coin combines outstanding condition with a dramatic error, the bidding can become intense. If you want to examine your own 1964 D nickel, grab a strong light and a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on the date and lettering. Check the rim for missing metal from clipped planchets. Study the alignment to see if the design has been struck off-center. Inspect the fields for cracks, missing details, or unusual textures. A tiny detail may be the key to unlocking extraordinary value, and every collector knows the thrill of discovering something rare in an unexpected place. And now for the moment every viewer loves, the highest known value for the rarest. Most dramatic error combined with exceptional mint-state quality on a 1964 D nickel has reached an astonishing $100,000 if you believe you've found a rare 1964 D nickel, or if you want help identifying an error, drop your questions and photos in the comments. Let's explore your discoveries together. And if you enjoyed this exciting journey into the world of rare nickels, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another treasure hunting adventure.